evening to Eric and Zara from Atelier Tours Paris.
Good evening.
Good evening. So good evening, Zara. Good evening, Eric. So lovely to just spend a little bit of time with the two of you, just chatting about what you do. I'm just gonna, to start off with, I'm just gonna share the Atelier Tours website with everyone so they can just see what you do and they can give it a bit of context. Otherwise they'll be like, what are we all talking about here? So this is the Atelier Tours Paris website. I am an absolute fan of Paris. I love going out for the day and looking around things, so touring things. And I love art. So this is bringing everything that I love.
Checking all the boxes.
Ticking every box on one website.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. And it's a beautifully rendered website as well. It's really easy to navigate and it's got beautiful imagery. So
thank you. That's very kind of you.
Well,
we like it.
Yeah. Do you know, these days, a lot of effort and time is spent on these websites, isn't it? And I know how much time we've spent on ours, and we work on our website every single day. And I know now that, you know, after the pandemic, that this is a big thing. People spend a lot of time, a lot of money on their websites. And when you come across one that is easy to navigate, that's beautiful, I think call it out, say.
Thank you.
If you want to see how it's done, go and have a look at this one, because this is a beautiful website.
Well, you're so kind. Thank you. We love your website. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous and very user-friendly. And,
Thank you.
We're here in the About page of our website. If you just click up into the logo, you're going to get to our landing page.
There we go.
It's the perfect way to begin. Paris is always a good idea.
Paris is, it doesn't matter what time of year, does it?
No, it doesn't. It's beautiful every month of the year.
So I think that was probably, so I'm going to stop sharing that so we can see your lovely faces. So I think that was my first question really, was why Paris? Why did you pick Paris?
Oh my goodness, where do we begin? You know, we've met so many other expats, and there is a common thread, and it has to do with a love affair with Paris that for many started just a few years ago. For others like me, back in my college days, and I turned 22 in Paris. And I was going to school. I was this wide-eyed kid from Orange County, California, and I'd never even been to Europe before, but I knew there was more in the world to see beyond the Laguna Hills shopping mall, which was kind of
look, don't diss Laguna Hills shopping mall. I know it, and it's good. But
oh, good. So you know. But really, it was in my college years, turning 22 in Paris, that love affair began. Paris got under my skin. I fell in love with every facet of it, and it has stayed there. And I knew quite viscerally that the rest of my life had shifted after spending time there, that I would make it my mission to live in Paris one day, and that dream came true.
So what about you, Zara?
Well, I moved to Paris 3 years ago to study. I'm from Pakistan, and I was working as a curator in galleries for many years. And then I just felt like I needed that next step in my career and just to kind of widen my horizons. And I decided to move for my master's degree. And once I graduated, I realized that this is where I belong. And, you know, I started working here, and yeah, like Eric said, it's just something that really grows on you, and you want to just, you know, continue being in that spirit of Paris, because it really is a spirit.
It's intoxicating, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It's good to be drunk on Paris.
I think I felt drunk on Paris, or maybe it was macaroons. I'm not sure, but
maybe some champagne.
Yes, yeah, no, I totally get that. So for both of you, it became Paris through the magic and the emotion and the romance of Paris. It's just so intoxicating, isn't it? So it's Absolutely. So magical as a place. But what about art? So why Paris art tours?
Well, so what happened is my husband Patrick and I relocated to Paris from the US. We're both also interior designers, and we decided to leverage all of our art and design gallery relationships and create tours where we present Paris through the lens of art and design. We had the good fortune of being contacted by Zara on one amazing day, and she said to us, because the timeline is really critical to this story. We moved to Paris in December 2019, right before the onset of the pandemic, just a few months later, and the ensuing lockdown. So, immediately we were just cut off from art and culture, right?
Yeah.
Museums were closed, you couldn't attend a concert, you couldn't go to the ballet. But as we started to incrementally climb out of this first confinement, Zara reached out and said, "Hey, Eric and Patrick, I have a great idea. Tell them about your great idea."
Well, with the lockdown, all the museums were closed, and all that remained was the galleries. And, some of the best art in Paris, international art, is in the galleries, in fact. And, when everything was open, we were all so consumed by going to the next museum show that unless you're a collector, a lot of people feel this intimidation towards like walking into a gallery, just freely and browsing through art. But during that time, I started visiting a lot of galleries more than ever, and I started going with my friends. And that's when I realized that, this is really something that we need to open up to a wider audience, because it is so important, and the gallerists also are so welcoming, and they're so happy to kind of open their collections and take you through them. So that's how I got in touch with Eric. It was through Instagram.
The magic of Instagram.
Yeah, through Instagram, and then we met during confinement and lockdowns. We had to have our attestations to go out, and all of that. And the rest is history.
It was a very clandestine first meeting in the Tuileries Gardens with our attestations, or documentation of the time and date that we've left the house in our pockets at the ready. But it only took about 30 seconds to realize that this was a brilliant idea, because what Zara was feeling is what I was feeling. And if we were feeling cut off from art and design and culture, then chances are there were many like us. And so to leverage these beautiful collections in the art galleries in Paris, and we focus on the 3 gallery districts in Paris: Saint-Germain-des-Prés, the Marais, and the 8th arrondissement. We quickly pivoted. We built a platform to start promoting these experiences. And we really tapped into something and started connecting people with art again. And the gallerists have been so gracious and, welcoming everyone in, sharing these passionate narratives with us and our guests about their collections, about the artists that they represent. And we have to be mindful, it wasn't just the galleries that were that didn't have anyone walking through their doors for quite some time. It's also this community of artists that they represent and support. So it was just this great coming together, and it's just been going strong ever since.
Yeah, and
that was our first tour was May of last year.
So May 2021.
Yeah, exactly a year ago.
Wow. So we're like the first anniversary. That's great.
Bring out
Where's the champagne?
Yeah.
Exactly. Where's the champagne? I so hear you, because you know, I've been working in the art sector for 25 plus years as an adult, and then exposed to the arts right through my, you know, my growing up and coming into adulthood. And yeah, there's this, like, you noticed over the previous like 10 years that people were very comfortable to buy their ticket to go to the big blockbuster museum.
Mm-hmm.
And they were becoming quite comfortable with that. And then you were seeing, especially in the UK, we were seeing massive queues of people out of the RA waiting to go and see the latest blockbuster or the Tate or Saatchi Gallery. But still, they were completely intimidated with the idea of walking through the door of a Bond Street gallery, which was insane, because they're just shops.
Yeah.
Aren't they? They're just shops with beautiful things inside. And I think it's genius. I do it with my members, and we do members days, and I take them out and see galleries, but you know, not just not our collectors, obviously. I haven't done that with them. So I think you're absolutely hit on something that's a genius idea, and I'm sure the galleries absolutely love you.
Yes, they do. You know, we came together because how do you pick the galleries? I mean, there's so many in Paris. There's just a rich panorama of galleries there. But Zara and I just pooled our relationships, I should say, together, and came up with this list, and you know, launched it, and it's been great. So we have expats living in Paris who come on our tours. We've done tours for the American Club of Paris. We have, for their members, we have a great one coming up to the Marais in June. In Zara, we have collectors, right?
Yeah. We've had collectors mainly from the US, but again, from all over. And in fact, we have had a few French people on our tours as well, because I mean, yes, our tours are in English and not in French, but of course, there's still, you know, we're providing something. And actually, the first time we went to all these gallerists that we know, to kind of like, you know, have a formal understanding with each one of them, we were really surprised to know that we were the first ones who ever got in touch with them for something like this, an experience, because we not only just go through the galleries, and I'm sure there's a couple of services that, you know, you can get with other tour companies that do that, but we have private access moments. We have these experiences where we would take you to the VVIP salon of a very famous gallery, one of the best in the world, or we take you to like the storage facility where you see the best art, the one that's hidden, or the one that's sold and going to like a prominent collector and people cannot see it. So it's really like that added value that we provide. And of course, like each time the gallerist is there to welcome us, to take us through, sometimes as an artist as well. So it really is, you know, curating that experience, but a very heightened experience as well.
Yeah, so that's the special thing, because people say, well, anyone can walk through the door, but what's the special? What are you getting by coming with you guys? What are you getting? And as you say, you're getting that outside hours, museum at night.
Yes, it's the access for sure,
as
Zara touched upon. And you know, these gallerists are very busy, but they, you know, they drop everything and welcome us. And you know, they might have a private apartment with some of their most special pieces that the public doesn't have access to, but they'll take us up there, and our clients, our guests, and it just makes for a great experience. And I think the two words that come to mind are access and intimacy. You know, you can go to these palace museums in Paris, and we all do, and we all adore them. But you don't have this proximity to these beautiful works, nor the accompanying narrative from these passionate gallerists who just add this whole next level, top level meaning to these pieces. They talk about provenance and how they acquired it, or how long it might have taken them a year to put an exhibit together. You wouldn't know that just walking by or walking in for a few minutes and then leaving. But it's really exciting what we do, and it's very unique.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It doesn't matter whether you're a collector or whether you're an artist, to actually hear that kind of information, from a top gallery gives you not only intimacy with the work as a collector, but it gives you insight.
Yeah.
It does. It does. It gives you a lot of insight. And again, it just kind of supports all of that work. And, and these pieces that are on display, they might be by a newer emerging artist or by someone iconic. We specialize in kind of modern contemporary art and design. And, it's just, it's a very rich panorama. And for many, they either know a lot about art, a lot about contemporary and modern art, or they don't. And I think whether you do or you don't, the richness of this experience is something that everyone walks away with, like, wow, I learned so much, and I'm not going to be intimidated to walk into a gallery now.
And ask, where's your special room? I understand you have a special room.
How do I get upstairs?
I think I need to go upstairs. So Zara, when you're looking to curate the galleries, do you presumably have a roster of galleries and you know what's coming up. When you're thinking about putting a tour together, have you got an idea of what you're trying to say, or do you kind of like just let the person who you're working it out for lead you? How does that work? How do you curate the tour?
Well, the tour is essentially, we like to have contemporary art, as Eric said. Then we like to have some modern art and contemporary design. And sometimes we go more towards modern design as well. So the way that each gallery is selected, and each time it goes a switch around depending on what show is on. But it's really to give you a sense of the district, because like Eric mentioned, we have 3 itineraries and each one is a completely different flavor, including the area you're in. Like Le Marais is very different from the 8th arrondissement. So of course, it's to put all those galleries in context and then speak about the artists, the designers, and the gallerists that are exhibiting, that are part of each experience. And per se, we won't kind of like add a theme and then say that, this is the theme we're following, because that really like narrows down the experience. So it's more like giving an overlook into what the district has, the best of what the district has to offer at any given time.
And when you say designers, do you go into like well-known designers as well as the, the high, Dior and Versace, as well as the lesser known?
So by design, I mean more like object design. So for example, we'd go to Gallery Creole, or we'd go to Gallery Yves Gaston, or in the 8th arrondissement, we'd go to the Regis Mathieu Gallery. So each time, again, like, Gallery Creole does a lot of contemporary pieces, and then Gallery Yves Gaston does a bit of both. And then
decorative arts.
Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. How do you show those decorative arts? How are you accessing those?
Those are galleries.
You're going through the galleries as well.
Yeah, we're going through the galleries, and we're talking about design movements. We're talking about each designer, the context, and some of them, like especially in our Saint-Germain tour, we have a really interesting historical point of interest, where we stop on our way to our next gallery and we speak about a designer, and we stop right outside her place where there's a plaque of her name, and you know, we every time we show all our guests the pictures, and they recognize everything, but it's just that to put it in context, and you know, they're like, oh yeah, it's at my place, I saw it at somebody's place. It's always great to kind of, you know, break it down and simplify it.
Yeah. Yeah, and as you say, it creates a slight familiarity, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then that helps that emotional transition, the bridge into it being accessible.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's this emotional bridge you're creating, which is just fabulous. I love that. So, what's your favorite time of year in Paris? Then I'm gonna take my scarf off. Getting warm now. What's your favorite time of year? I know when mine is. When's your favorite time of year?
Right now.
Right now. The spring in Paris. Yeah, I you know, I'm a big fan of January, February, because it's quiet.
Oh wow.
I really like coming to Paris at that time. And I came in 2020, I came in the end of January, just before the lockdown. That was my last time in Paris.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Yeah, which is, you know, way too long. Too long. Yeah,
no, I'm welcoming you back.
Well, as you know, my plan is to come back in the fall and come to the New Paris Art Fair. So I have that on my agenda, and you know, that's definitely something that I'm going to do. So why do you, Zara, why do you particularly like this time of year then, May?
Oh, it's the sun is out. We're done with like it being rainy every day.
Yeah.
There's lots of blossoms everywhere, and it's just like the energy kind of shifts. You know, you go from like the winter and the rain and all of that to like bright sunny days. And right now there's definitely a lot of tourists in Paris as well, and we haven't seen that, of course, now for 2 years. Yeah,
that's so reassuring. There's lots of tourists in Paris.
Life is back.
Phew, thank goodness. Eric, what's your favorite time in Paris? What's favorite time of year?
Well, when it's autumn, I would say it's autumn, and when it's spring, I say it's spring. I go back and forth. It's just amazing. I mean, we said it at the onset of this interview, you know, Paris is always a good idea. It's always
a good idea.
Always magical. And in January and February, you said you like to be here in Paris at that time, and I've shared that kind of love of the quiet, and you know, that cold where you're kind of bundled up and the crowds are gone. But spring is just exquisite, and it is that feeling of reemerging, and now it's, you know, kind of running in tandem with the whole world returning to Paris. It just adds to the energy. And this spring over last spring has been particularly sunny and warm, and every tree that could possibly bloom, every flower that could bloom, every tulip, I mean, they've all just burst forth, and it's magic.
That's just amazing. That's amazing to hear. I'm visualizing Paris just in like that Audrey Hepburn thing with all of the, you know, blossom and the tulips and everything. I could be getting on a train very soon.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to say London is very similar.
Yeah.
We've got the tulips are remarkable this year. Absolutely stunning this year, which is just, as the world opens up, it's such a relief.
Yeah,
it is.
So what are you looking forward to then this year as the world opens up? What are you looking forward to?
What a great question. Zara?
Well, let Eric have a think.
I'm ready to answer, but I don't know.
Well, I guess there's so much to look forward to, you know, like you said, as the world opens up, and it opens you up to so many possibilities that were kind of not really attainable, I'd say, earlier. And I guess it's also time when like all that we've been working on, because the good thing about that time in COVID was that we could plan and strategize.
Yeah.
And now is when you implement all of that. So really looking forward to like the fruition of many seeds that have been planted.
Yeah, I think
agree.
I feel you. Yeah, a lot of work. A lot of us did a lot of work behind the scenes, didn't we, during that lockdown?
We did. It gave us the opportunity to kind of crystallize and distill down to the essence what we really want to do, you know, who we are, how we want to present what we do. And it is exciting. There is a lot to look forward to. It feels like we have to make up for like 2 years. But you know, we're certainly ready to do that. We were just interviewed by the AFP culture and lifestyle section too about these art tours that we're doing, and about people returning to Paris, and collectors. And you know, Paris Art Fair just returned to its spring time slot, you know, after 2 years. And we just had the 24th edition of Paris Art Fair, and it was magic, and it was so well attended. And so it's clear that you know, Paris is reemerging as a wonderful art capital. It might, Parisians might say the art capital, but
oh dear, careful now.
Careful.
Careful.
But you know, Art Paris kicking off this season of reemerging and reawakening is certainly adding fuel to that. Everyone's desire to be here and just experience this vortex of energy that's swirling over all of us. So yeah, we're just looking forward to doing, you know, more tours, more consulting, you know, taking guests to fairs we're planning for the fall for Paris Plus by Art Basel. That's the fair replacing FIAC at the Grand Palais Éphémère in October 20th to the 23rd. And so that's a big dot on the calendar, big star, and something to look forward to.
So you not only do those 3 districts, you will do art fairs as well. You will do tours of art fairs, and will you also do auction houses?
Well, auction houses, that's kind of the next frontier for us. That's something that we'd like to bring our guests through. I know you do a lovely job of that, Lesley. Same thing, there's that intimidation factor, and yet it's such an amazing world, and the previews are so beautifully curated that just from an art and design standpoint, just to go to a preview at an auction house is a great experience.
Yeah, no, I think auction houses would be a great add-on for you to do. And then just like, finally, you're doing Art Paris, but are we thinking Art London? And are we thinking Art London Atelier Tours? And are we let's do it. And are we thinking anywhere else? You know, let's not like limit ourselves.
No, I mean, Zara just came back from a trip to Milan with a bunch of amazing graduate students, and we're thinking about our art walking tours in Milan and setting that up. So
I mean, once you've got this model kind of wrapped up, I'm sure you're going to be welcomed with open arms by the galleries, but also by, you know, by the public as well, because, you know, it's just amazing for them to be able to get in and see this work, and with someone who's friendly and opening the door, and as I say, creating that bridge for them. Yeah. How was that in Milan? Was that exciting? I loved Milan.
It was. It really was. We managed to do like everything art and design in 3 days. So it was intense.
I'm sure. Exhausting.
But the energy was great. Again, like, you know, it was buzzing with energy. There were lots of people, lots of tourists. Did all the design museums, did the design galleries, did the art exhibitions. Foundation Prada just like blew my mind away. So yeah, it was a little bit of everything, I'd say.
I saw as well that the Venice Biennale looks like it's been absolutely packed.
Yeah, I'm going this month
Are you?
to Venice. Yeah.
So that's
Can't
definitely got to
wait
be
for
on
that.
your list, hasn't it?
Maybe we'll do a Venice edition for the
Yeah,
next
that'd be great. I definitely put my name down for that one.
Biennale.
Lesley, don't you feel this? I mean, you must, I know you have a sense of this in London too. There's just been so much pent up creativity that's now just bursting forth. And I mean,
Yeah.
Zara and I have FOMO on a regular basis. It's like we want to be everywhere doing everything all at once. It's like, you know, we need to replicate ourselves and just to take it all in. And
I totally get you.
and wonderfully exhausting.
I took just a group of like 3 or 4 artists out on Thursday last week in London, and I like literally traipsed them across London, and we did the Whitechapel Gallery, and then we went over and we did a gallery in St Pancras, and then we went over to St James's, and at the end they were like, that was wild. And everyone who was seeing like the Instagram stories going up as we're going around, they're like, we want to be with you, why aren't we with you? And I was like, yeah,
we want to be with you. Sure. And we can't wait to host you on our podcast to share about what you do. And
it was great. I definitely feel that I just want to get out there. I mean, I'm literally any opportunity. This week we're going to Birmingham. We're going to the Icon Gallery, which is a massive gallery in Birmingham, and then we're going to the Birmingham Contemporary. And again, you know, that's like one gallery, one tour last week, one tour this week. Heavens, I went 2 years without going out of my house.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's the feeling that we have. You know, we try to do it all. Our tours are typically, I mean, we can customize the time frame, but they're typically 2 in the afternoon to 6 in the afternoon. It's after everyone has lunch. The gallerists have time to dedicate to us. It's before dinner or apéro in Paris. And, you know, 4 hours, it sounds like quite a commitment, but it goes so fast, you know, and we're going through iconic galleries like Perotin and Camel Manure. And then we're going to, you know, these kind of smaller promising galleries, like, you know, we want to take folks to Sono Gallery and Septième Gallery, 1831 Gallery in Saint-Germain. I mean, you know, and the time just seems to evaporate, and people can't believe how much ground we've covered.
And no one wants to leave when it ends.
Our tours always run over.
Mine are always, they always say to me at the end, where are we going for dinner? Cocktails? Cocktails now? I'm like, oh, okay. We'll find somewhere for cocktails.
We like to stop for a glass of wine.
Yeah.
And kind of, you know, talk midway through. We play a fun game. Okay, based on what you've seen thus far, what would you like to go home with?
Yeah.
That type of thing. But yeah, and then we end up handing out a lot of dinner recommendations.
Exactly. I know, if you drank all the cocktails, we really wouldn't be in a fit state to be doing the tours. That's the problem, and showing people around. I really love that you don't just show the established galleries, that you're going to the more, you know, the more edgy, the emerging galleries, the new ones. I think that's so important to, you know, show that spectrum.
Absolutely. And it was a big focus at Art Paris Art Fair. Guillaume Pines, the fair director that Zara and I interviewed on our Art Heart Radio podcast recently, he loves, you know, I mean, Art Paris was kind of founded to leverage and bring all these Parisian art galleries together to compete with the auction houses, quite frankly. And but now, you know, the galleries are about 60% French and the rest are global. But there's a dedicated part of this massive fair that's just shining a light on promising galleries and these kind of emerging galleries and their emerging artists, right, Zara? I mean, wasn't that was one of the biggest treats of this fair?
It was. Like we saw an artist work from Guatemala, and you know, Guillaume had gone to Guatemala himself, and he met this artist who knew nothing about the art world or the art market, and he actually spent a lot of time with her explaining what's what, and then, you know, kind of convinced her, because her art is very personal to her, but he really convinced her And she didn't know even 6 months ago that her work would be shown at like Art Paris and it would be all sold out.
Yes,
So I
that's right.
love how, yeah, I love democratizing art and really bringing emerging art to the surface, because, you know, some of these artists, they really deserve the same platform as all the established ones.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we all need to start somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
We all need to start somewhere. And, you know, part of what Zara and I do on the art advisory side is we like to shine a light on these emerging galleries and artists where, you know, yeah, they don't have the big name yet, but, you know, we like to bring our collectors there to just expose them to something new and fresh on the art scene. And it just gives us a real sense of satisfaction.
Yeah, it's really good energy to be contributing to the collective good of the art scene, isn't it? We all need to rise each other up and help each other.
Absolutely. Art is life, you know, and especially contemporary art being this vehicle to keep social issues front of mind. You know, contemporary art isn't always pleasing to look at, but it's not always meant to be. Sometimes it is meant to shock or to surprise, but all the while keeping these important social issues front of mind, things that we need to keep talking about. And, you know, it's being done in so many ways on the contemporary side, just, you know, with technology entering the scene. And you know, it's just astounding. And I mean, you can walk into contemporary art installation and be part of the work yourself. And it's just,
yeah, I'm a massive fan of immersive art, massive fan of it. Immersive kind of that includes performance, and it includes, you know, things that you can like literally go into, and it surrounds you, and it's got sound. I love that, you know, that kind of art, that whole experience.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Kind of multi-sensory experience, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because people come to me and they say, "Oh, I do performance, and so you wouldn't be interested in me." I'm like, I'm interested in any type of art, you know, music, performance, poetry, installation. I just think without it, what are we? Without that, what are we?
Exactly. That's how we feel.
Yeah, it goes to every essence of your being.
Yes, I mean, it's as important as air for those of us who love this universe and love sharing it.
But I think the more people you show it to, the more they get it.
It's true. It's so true. It's so true. And we love the surprise looks on people's faces, right, Zara? And the aha moments. I mean, some people get emotional. I mean, it's amazing what art can do, you know, we at Gagosian Gallery in Paris, we were exposed to this beautiful indigenous artist's work. She didn't have an art store to go to. She, you know, would find paper or make paper, find pigments or anything to create. She just had to create. And her landscapes of her beloved land surrounding her home in Australia are just so poetic. And then they did this video where they showed one of her works, and then over it, a drone landscape kind of transposed over her landscape. And it's amazing how the two mesh up and blend and meld into each other. And yet she's not been in the sky looking down at her landscape. I mean, this kind of stuff is just, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah, it is mind-blowing, and it's just life-changing. That's the thing. I mean, I work sometimes, you know, I've done projects with people who, you know, they've been marginalized, and this is not something that they ever thought, you know, art wasn't part of their vocabulary, wasn't even something that, you know, you say, do you want to do art? And they're like, you know, I'm struggling to stay alive here. But actually, the minute you start to interact with them and they start to be able to just like express themselves with art and showing what they feel, it's life-changing.
It is. It really is.
Life-changing. And I think everybody, it shouldn't be exclusive. It shouldn't be something that, you know, is kept to the, you know, just to the elite. It should be open for everybody. And I think that's, you know, the amazing thing that you're doing is you're opening those doors. And I'm so impressed. I am very impressed with what the two of you are doing. And I can't wait to just come out and experience it for myself, which I will be doing in the autumn. Yeah, I'll come out and see you in the autumn, and you know, we'll come along to the Paris Plus, because that is also something that I really want to do as well. But no, thank you so much, guys. That's been absolutely fascinating.
Thank you, Lesley. It's been such an amazing just evening talking to you, you know.
What is better than just sitting chatting about art and art and Paris? I mean, what? And the odd cocktail.
Every podcast, right? We could talk into the wee hours of the night. I mean, it's just
exactly.
Oh Thank you. This has been a real honor and a real treat for us.
Yeah.
Lesley, thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
We're happy to know you, and we love the work that you're doing.
Thank you so much. And the feeling, as you know, is very much mutual. And it'd be really nice to meet you both in person and see what you're doing. And I'm sure that will happen very soon. But no, I think that you've just explained beautifully that how that emotional bridge happens. And I think that's something that needs to be discussed more, because I think that's the fear, isn't it? That's where the fear sits for people. And when there's someone like you who can open the door and allow that to happen, then it just helps everyone feel better on every aspect. The gallery, the visitor, Paris.
Sure. And just getting to know this universe, and you know, being exposed to it in such a friendly, approachable manner. I think you're right. It helps all of us. It
does. Now, this painting behind your head, going to tell us, what is that? I've been looking at that for a while now.
I love that.
It's painting. Gorgeous. I love it.
Yeah, that was painted by Jan van Ote. He's was a Dutch artist, born in 1923. You know, abstract artist, an abstraction, of course. A perfect example of an artist who's kind of bridged that modern into contemporary cusp, if you will. And because I think he passed away in like 1996 or something. But I love color, and this is hanging here in our little breakfast area, and it just it makes me so happy.
It has made me smile all the time I've been sitting here looking. It's just joy. It's just a joy. It's just joyful.
Thank you. Art does that, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's got a kind of like, I don't know. I keep looking at it and thinking it just talks to me like a Giacometti. You know, it's just got that kind of energy about it, hasn't it?
There's a lot of energy in it. Yeah, a lot of energy and a lot of color.
No, it's great. That and the beautiful flowers.
What would life be without art and flowers?
Exactly. And Zara, you've got a piece behind you as well, I see.
Yeah, it's by a digital artist. I don't remember the name. I got gifted this on my birthday, but it's this is a Bout Park in Paris, and it's like a digital painting of the park.
Oh wow. Beautiful. I love digital. We've got a few digital photo montage artists who, like, you know, digitally overlay like 50 or so layers in their work, and they have their own painting in there as one of the layers. I think it's an amazing media. It's amazing. As a photographer who used to, you know, I did photography like I do interviewing. It was live, unscripted, unedited. I just took it, produced it in a dish, and that was it. No fiddling. And very raw. And now it's so complex.
It is.
It is.
I don't know about you, Zara, but I've been looking over your shoulder, Lesley. Is that one of your works behind you?
Oh no, so that one over there is
Yeah.
by one of our amazing artists that took part in ART360. So like you, we invented something during the
I
lockdown.
love your ART360.
Yeah, I had a look, by the way. I was really impressed.
Yeah, so we invented ART360, and that was, you know, basically going into artist studios in a digital way and talking to them about their inspiration, and helping them connect with everyone around the world. And this is one of our artists, and she actually sent over some of her work. I think she's from Japan. I mean, I have work this is my office, and I have work in here. I mean, you can't see, but look, there's bags and bags of artwork. Can you see silver bags? Silver bags of artwork everywhere. And this is artwork that we've just done a changeover of an exhibition. So I've got some artwork that we just changed over, and I'm just about to take another artist to a residency at the weekend. So that's all her artwork there. So yeah, I'm just blessed. I'm always surrounded by it. Yeah, so this is my art. This is my office, which is in the garden.
Oh, great.
And so it's like a little kind of like oasis in my garden, and it's got a vaulted ceiling, and it was a bakery for a farm.
Wow.
So yeah, it's lovely, but I'm soon to move into a new office, so we'll see what that one's like.
You'll have to take us on a tour, and
I will take you next time. I will take you on a tour of they're starting building my new office next Wednesday, so let's see how we get on.
how exciting.
Hopefully there'll be some I'll actually have some artwork on the walls by then, but that would be good. But yeah, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely brilliant. Anyone who's watching, they can contact you via your website, can't they? And I'm going to do another quick screen share so everybody knows where they can contact you. So there we are. Then we've got the contact button. The blog's great, so anyone who's wanting to find out some stuff, go and have a read of the blog. Here's the tours button as well, which is will show the various tours that you do, doesn't it? Everywhere, every time we come onto this, we either see the Eiffel Tower or we see the Arc de Triomphe. I just want to get on the train now. Look at that beautiful picture. So yeah, so art.
There's our Heart Tours. Yeah. That's our walking tour series there.
There you are. So learn more, and then this is the Marché. Now you're going to have to say that.
The Marché aux Puces. That's the
thank you
famous Paris flea market. It's also a great art resource, by the way.
Yeah, look at those lights. Oh, you see all that glass. I am an absolute magpie for glass. I love glass. So there you go. So anyone who's watching and has been listening, and if they're intrigued, which I'm sure they will be, go on to the Paris Art Tours, Atelier Tours Paris.com, and you will be able to contact Eric and Zara that way. And yeah, I advise everyone to get in touch.
Thank you. We're on Instagram as well.
On Instagram. Well, that's how you two got to know each other.
Yes.
Be rude not to get to contact you on Instagram. I love a good DM on Instagram.
Yeah, it's Art Walking Tours on Instagram.
Say that again.
Art Walking Tours.
Art Walking Tours. Perfect.
Yeah.
We are already following you, as you know.
Thank you so much.
If other people are interested, then yeah, get in touch with Eric and Zara, and hopefully I'll see some of you who are watching and listening to this in Paris in the fall. Where best to be? Paris in the fall. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you very much, Lesley. Thank you. Enjoy the evening, and
have a good evening.
Stay well. Thank you. And thank you to all your listeners.